I'm not either. Dave probably is.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's an area that might be.
We are recording.
Linda, since she's from Tenino, she already knows about Don Juan's and everything, so
I was
people,
thinking more of the sandstone.
well, she knows about that too, so.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to call to order the Tuesday, May 14th work session for the City Council, City of Tenino. So, start things out. Review of the 5/14 council agenda. So, if you guys want to take a minute and see if there's anything on there that you want to add. Got a few things on there today, but. Let me know when you're done. If you're comfortable, you're done. Everybody got a chance? Okay, nothing, no changes? Okay. Council priorities. Unless somebody has something to bring up, I'm going to skip over that one because I still don't have the completed financial policies, which is what I've been working on, but we're starting they're starting to do our review, the state is, for financial audit, so we'll probably have some things, so.
By the first meeting in,
Yeah, so I think I'll just wait, we'll kind of put it all together and what they have to say, and
Okay.
if that sounds okay with everybody.
Sure.
So we can just do one time and kind of, put if they have any suggestions to make any changes, we can just do it all at once.
And if I recall, we already have some financial policies in
Yeah,
place, right?
there needs to be some changes, definitely, but I think
But it's a base for
what
them to.
what I see in there is probably different than what an auditor will see, so I just want to make sure we're all on the same page and doing what
It's
they,
all
yeah.
meshing.
Are they all done, did you say?
No, they're just starting, they're just
Oh, they're
starting to
just
get information,
starting.
yeah.
And I think
They
they
haven't-
have until the end of May is all, don't they? Just
No,
the
this
end
is a
of the
state
month.
audit. This
Yeah.
is,
Oh, the state audit.
I'm talking the state audit,
Oh.
when they come in and review our
Yeah.
policies and
Oh,
procedures and all
okay,
that, and yeah.
Okay,
Not the yearly audit the extra audit. Sorry, I wasn't clear about that. We got a lot of audits going on.
So the other one is the annual report, and that
Yeah.
one will be done by May 31st.
Yeah.
okay.
I should call
We
it
have
by the correct name,
meeting
shouldn't I?
set
Then it won't be
for June,
confusing.
don't we?
Habitat for
I
Humanity.
don't know.
Yeah.
A few meetings ago, I talked about this, that Habitat was interested in possibly building some affordable housing, and we had some lots that we had proposed to them before I started. So I had a meeting with them, and they were still interested in that. There's the 4 lots that we actually talked about is one over, it's on Washington Street in Reynolds. I don't know if you know where Amy Richardson lives. It's kind of behind her house, kind of right by the trail. There's a big lot back there that the city owns one of them, and the Richardsons own the other part of it. And there's 3 over here. What's that road, Linda?
Two, there's two
over there, yeah.
Green Street.
Green
It's
Street, right under the bridge.
When you go under the trestle, there's a piece of property right to the right of the, just after you go over the Sandstone Distillery owns, and they're gonna be putting a facility in there.
Yeah, that's what I
Then you
thought.
turn right onto Green Street, and right on the right-hand side by the creek is the 2 pieces that the city owns right there.
Okay.
And,
Yeah. We don't know. I mean, we got a couple of years. They're not going to start anything for a
No,
couple
I
of
know,
years. So
I know.
we'll have some better plans. Linda, I'll say what you told me is that, there was some interest in maybe some businesses would go in there if the Sandstone developed that front lot. So
That's what I keep hearing too.
huh?
That's what I keep hearing too, sandstone's
well,
going.
I think that it's, instead of selling that property to anyone, we need to see what we can do about incentives for developers to come in to build and to build businesses, and incentives for businesses to come to town. And that would be a prime location for business, because the sandstone distillery, and then it kind of segues right into that quarry that's gonna eventually, they're gonna be doing something in that quarry eventually, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll have a couple years to see what happens, because even if Habitat was going to do it, they've got some big projects they're working on, so
Oh,
it's
yeah,
nothing that's going to
yeah.
happen immediately. But to get back to Habitat in particular, we asked them to provide a kind of a letter of intent, because remember we talked about the land swap the Richardsons wanted to do? They want to take our lot, and our lot is right behind their house, and then they own the lot. There's a lot between, our lot's between their house and what they own, so they want to swap that property over. But to do that, we had to show that there was some benefit to the city for, that's what our lawyer told us. So Habitat for Humanity basically just wrote a letter that said, we're interested in this. It didn't commit us to do it, but, in 2 years, if we're ready and everything works out, we're interested in doing this, property over there on Reynolds. And so the lawyer said that that was enough intent to proceed with the land swap. So we've already talked about it. This kind of, we surplus that property several years ago and kind of
Yeah.
started this whole process
Yeah,
about
that
the land
was
swap.
something we talked about last year.
So I just wanted to make you aware that I think we can tell the Richardsons that, we can move forward with that land swap over there. They offered to pay for all the cost of the survey and the line adjustments and everything, so I would think there'd be very little cost to the city. Our lawyer may have to review the
Do
final.
we have anything in writing?
Right, that's what we're gonna have to get, yeah. And then also, just to make you aware, there's a lot of Scotch broom over there, Scotch bloom, whatever it's really called. I hear people call it different things. Anyway, it's pretty significant, and they would like to start cleaning up some of that. They're just worried about the fire hazard, and she did ask if we had any issue with them clearing out the Scotch bloom off of our piece of property while they were doing it all. I don't see anything, but I just wanted to make you aware, and if you think we need to take action, we can put it on the
Is there
agenda.
any
but-
liability to us in that area with them doing that? That's what I'd like to know.
Yeah.
What we would be liable for
Yeah.
if they're burning on city
I
property.
don't think they're gonna burn it, they're just gonna they're gonna use a puller, because they don't wanna spread the seed, so they're gonna hand pull it all. But I can check it with our attorney or with Public Works and see if there's any liability.
Jen said that she has that for when people do other things on city property, you have that.
They can have that release, yeah, just to say,
Oh, hold harmless,
yeah, so we'll have them sign that just in case something happened, but, yeah, I think it'd be good for the city if they want to do it. I mean, it'd be
Heck
nice to
yes.
get it cleared down, so that's what's going on with Habitat, and like I said, it's gonna be a couple of years before we even do anything, so we'll see where we're at with all these lots and what's going on in the city in 2 years and make decisions then. Fire inspector, this is fire inspector, I would say, / fire marshal. We have worked with Shane, our contract fire inspector, or what do you want, plan reviewer. They have hired a fire marshal, a retired fire marshal, to work with them, basically on an on-call basis. So talking to Shane, if we have a need for plan reviews or review of some fire system that, if somebody in town builds and they're going to just contract with this person to provide that service, and it will just be included in the bill that they bill So we kind of got the fire marshal thing kind of, I think, taken care of.
Because it'll be built into the building permits, right?
Right, and the permit, so
For whoever's-
we may have to pay them, depends on timing, I guess we may have to reimburse them for the money, and then we'll, but, so anyway, I think the fire marshal part of it's back. The other part is building actual inspections. We've talked about this a little bit, but it's pretty common in most places that businesses in town get a courtesy inspection to try to keep them safe, and, it's devastating for the business if there's a fire that could have been prevented by a inspection, but it's also devastating for the whole community if something catches on fire. So typically, like when I was a firefighter, every year we would walk through the businesses and kind of try to catch the big, fire extinguishers, exits, or make sure they're not blocked, and the circuit breaker panels aren't blocked so we can get to them. Things like that are basic things. So when we're talking to Shane, the fire chief was there also. And apparently the firefighters are going through the businesses doing pre-fire inspections. So what they do is go through and just kind of get familiar with the building. So if there is an incident in there, they're familiar with the building, hazardous materials and those kind of things. Well, what they want to try to do is take this fire inspector, and the fire department's going to pay for it, or the fire marshal, and he's going to go in with them when they're doing these pre-fires and teach them basic fire
What to look
inspection
for?
techniques, what to look for. So they can kind of do two things at once, do the pre-fire and do a fire inspection. So it won't cost the city anything. Their firefighters will get some training on basic fire inspections, and hopefully we can start getting back in the routine of getting into the businesses and, give them, make sure they're doing the right things. Yeah. And not, from my perspective, this isn't a punitive thing, unless there's just some real flagrant violation that's an immediate threat. This is just trying to educate him on, a lot of things you see is extension cords where people don't have enough plugs, especially in old buildings. They'll run a long extension cord across the floor or something, and they tend to get worn and break down, so they can be a fire hazard. So it's just simple things like that, just educating people on, what they can do to reduce their fire risk. Any questions about that? Police weapon surplus. We got a request, and you might have to help me on this one, Jen, a little bit.
Yeah.
Apparently, the police department has, what do they have, like 10, they say, weapons that are basically not being used, I think, right now. So they had talked about surplusing one of them because Seth Sharp, what happened there. He wants his, I guess it's kind of a thing with police officers, when they have a duty weapon, when they retire or quit, they like to have their old duty weapon. So we got a request to surplus just that one weapon, and to do that, we got fair values because they have to pay a fair market value for it. So they went out and got an estimate for fair market value on it, and provided us the serial numbers and everything so we can approve surplusing that. The question came up about, why don't we surplus more? We have 10 weapons just sitting around over there. Why
don't we see if we get some money
Yeah.
for it?
One of the, I don't know, the police chief's out of town, so we didn't get to talk to him about this, but talking to one of the officers, they said we should keep a few because if something happens, if they have an incident and they confiscate their weapon, they would have a backup. So they didn't think it was good just to get rid of all of them, but we may, at a later date, say, well, maybe do 2 or 3 more and keep a few around just to, and he says they're fairly new also, so. Anyway, just to make you aware that that's what we're doing with the surplus weapons.
It has to happen through resolution too, so
Yeah.
it'll probably be next meeting, we'll have a resolution drafted up. We're getting a couple quotes on how much the value is for them first to make sure we get proper value and all the things, so.
Any questions about that? Mid-year council retreat. When we had our first retreat, we discussed doing a mid-year council retreat, just with all the changes. I think, excuse me, hopefully when we schedule this, we'll kind of have our, what did you call it, Jen? Or, I gotta get that
Our
one.
yearly
Annual report done, so we'll kind of know where we're at financially. I do think it would be good to get back together mid-year and kind of go over that and, where we're at financially, because we should have that, this month, hopefully. So I just wanted to get a feel from the council. That's, everybody still wants to try to do a mid-year retreat. And if so, we'll schedule, we'll work with Doug Ma to schedule something coming up here.
Be careful doing it in July, though.
Yeah.
That's,
We might wait till after summertime, a lot of people, we'll see.
Because
We'll
that's
work
a
with everybody to
huge,
try to
huge
figure out
month.
a date or time that's good
Especially
in
for me.
with Doug.
huge.
Council roles and responsibilities, if you don't mind. I would like to put this one off unless there's some other discussion. I didn't really prepare to talk about it, so I would like to we just talk about what council's roles and responsibilities are, but I didn't really come prepared and bring any information with me to kind of share with you, so yeah, that was my bad. I didn't, but next meeting I'll put that back on here and we'll talk about council roles and responsibilities. Discussion of 5/28 council draft agenda.
It says 21st on.
It says 21st on there, but I changed it on, yeah, it's actually the 28th. So, yeah, we're trying to get those agendas out timely so people have a chance, and both us and the citizens have a chance to look at that. So if you have anything today that you want to put on the next agenda, let us know. But try to get that to us as quickly as possible if something comes up in your mind between now and then.
Gosh, it looks like we can get all the reports done.
Or anything, I'll give you a couple minutes if anybody wants to add anything for the council agenda, but yeah, we're going quick, aren't we?
Can I chime something real quick?
Yep.
For mid-year retreat, do you think it helps if I send out like a poll, like a doodle poll for you guys with like a couple dates? Or what do you think
Yeah,
the
that-
best way?
Yeah, the last time you did that, it worked.
Okay.
It helped.
Yeah,
So
I feel like it's mid-year is gonna end up being August.
Yeah, I'm thinking too.
I'm
It's going to be,
thinking
I'm just can already tell you, but I mean, it's graduation season, it's,
plus Doug Ma, who knows what his schedule is.
yeah,
so we'll
exactly.
have to-
Okay, so
yeah.
I'll try for some August dates. Does everyone prefer a Saturday or do we prefer a Sunday?
prefer Saturday, but the weekend of the 17th, I cannot do.
You're out, okay.
It's Ethan's birthday.
And just for your notes, I think I would like to invite Aaron Turdy also. He's come to ones in the past, and I think, yeah, I'd just like to
The only
invite him also.
Saturday in August I can't do it is the 3rd. Not the
You're
3rd
you're all
weekend,
done.
the 3rd, my calendar's empty in August, so far.
Okay. That was all. That was all.
Okay, so we got, yeah.
Did you have George's report?
I do.
Okay, because I printed it.
We're going to go, if nobody has any other comments or anything, we'll go into reports. Chamber of Commerce,
Want me to go?
sure.
Or do you want to read it, Linda?
Nope,
Are you sure?
yep.
Hi, Dan. All right, Tenino Chamber of Commerce. The next lunch forum is tomorrow, May 15th at noon at the Sandstone Cafe. Featured speakers are Jessica Rush providing an update on Family Fun Day and the pool opening and other upcoming events. Jody Stoltz and Pat Haller providing an update on the Tenino Community Service Center and activities planned to celebrate their 40th anniversary. George Sharp is providing an update on the new changes taking place at Oregon Trail Days. The Thurston EDC, in partnership with the Washington Department of Commerce, is holding a 9-week scale-up course for business entrepreneurs, June 4th through July 29th. It's a $1,600 value and free for business and participate in. Registration information can be found at mystartup365.com programs. If you need the email, I can send it to you. Thanks, George.
Is that the EDC report also?
Yes.
Okay. I'll just add on, it's not directly related to that, but George and I both went to the Port of Olympia meeting last night. They had invited us down there to talk about the Small Cities Grant that they've done for several years. They are talking about raising the amount a little bit. And they also added, it was kind of nice for Grand Mound, Rochester area, since they weren't a city. In the past, they've not ever got any of this small city grant money. So they added Rochester Grand Mound to their list. So they're doing a one for them too, which is nice. They kind of felt left out, I think, a little bit of not being able to have access to that money. So both George and I did a presentation I did for the city, and they seemed very appreciative to hear from us. And I think it's a good program, and I think they all support it, it seems like. But we'll see if
They've been very supportive of us
Yeah.
in different things that we do, so.
Yeah. So anyway, just to a little bit of an add on there. Study.
The meeting is,
Is your microphone on?
yes,
Gotta
Okay.
get it closer.
Can you move it a little? Thanks, ma'am.
the meeting is the 3rd, the 17th, Friday the 17th. And it's going to be at the Lacey Makers
Space.
space at St. Martin's, 8 a.m. to 9:30. And I don't know who the speakers are.
Arch Commission. I think anybody here? VCB. I went to a short meeting we had with the VCB, just to update on what they're doing. We talked a little bit about the park and lodging needs. they're very supportive, and I think I've mentioned before how they say they have numbers that would show that we definitely need lodging in this area. We're losing a lot of people to going out of town when there's events here because there's no place to stay, and we could really improve, I think, our economics if we can keep them here.
Well, there you go, Green Street,
Yep,
you know,
right.
some kind of a motel or little hotel there or something, you know, that's a good business thing that we need.
Yeah, and just so you know, I don't know if you all know this, that was part of our small cities grant. That's what we did. They want to do kind of a test little, I don't know what to call it. It's a shelter over in the park, kind of a pilot project for, they want to build a shelter over there that's something better than a tent, but it's not a big fancy,
Really?
that people could rent out. So the idea was to build one, see how it works.
Like a tiny house?
Yeah, kind of like it, but it's not going to have all the amenities.
Amenities?
Yeah. So you can camp in it, and basically it's like camping in rough camping, you have places to put a, cot or whatever, or put a sleeping bag, but it's not gonna have a kitchen and all that.
Why don't you get them to do a presentation on, let us know what they want to do.
It's gonna be, Public Works is gonna do that work.
Oh,
So anyway, the concept is to do one and see how it works out, and kind of so we can show if we want to go for a bigger grant later that, hey, we've tested this out and it seems to be working. So we can kind of show if we ask for more money from the state or wherever, we can get some additional cash to possibly put some more units out there. So that's kind of what they're looking at there. So we'll see.
and who is that?
That we're using the small cities grant for that.
Okay, for that.
Apparently,
And the
Public
guys
Works.
are gonna do it.
Yeah, Public Works
Okay.
has already found a kind of a prefabricated
Oh,
building,
really?
so we'll see.
I recall once staying at a yurt in a
Yeah.
park somewhere. And I don't know what the relative cost is, but that was really nice.
Yeah.
We had a small child, and it was just a nice, quiet, clean
Yeah.
space.
And that was kind of proposed here several years ago, glamping. So they have basically
Glamping,
yurts,
yeah.
they have like that, yurts, but they're pretty fancy.
Yeah,
They had talked about, I think they do it at Miller, Sylvania, at least they used to. I don't know if it's still out
they
there or
still
not.
do.
They still are.
I
Are
think
they?
Offutt
Yeah,
Lake
because
has
people-
one too.
Yeah.
Is that-
Offutt Lake, I
Oh,
think
they
they have.
have they have a yurt out there, yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway,
That's fun.
we'll see what happens. South Thurston Fire, I think he said he was not going to be here. He'll be here next time.
Okay.
Library's not here, museum, Tenino Service not here. Committees, commissions, Civil Service Commission. Nobody's here. Facade Improvement Grant Review.
report.
Nothing. Finance Committee, we have not met. We should be probably this month or early next month if we get that.
Probably early next
I
month.
think it's June.
June,
Whatever
yeah.
you said.
I can't remember.
I think we scheduled one for June because we figured we'd have everything back.
I want to say that.
The 11th
11th, yeah.
at 11 o'clock.
Planning Commission, there is a meeting tomorrow, right, Jen? Planning Commission meeting, they're going to be working on the comprehensive plan update.
The Planning Commission, I spoke to Adam Carney, who's the liaison.
Yeah.
And I'll be there tomorrow as our liaison to them. We've missed the last couple of planning commissions, once they didn't have a quorum, once they weren't quite ready for
Right, the presentation.
site occupancy.
Yeah.
But it's come a ways, and it's already on the website, the agenda, for those who are interested in seeing where they're going with the proposed UGAs and whatnot.
Okay. So yeah, any community out there listening, this is a big one for our community, so if you have interest, please come to the meetings and understand what's going on. Public Safety Committee,
Oh, that's us.
Oh, yeah. We finally did meet here a couple weeks ago. It was a good meeting, and we have one next week too.
have another one next week?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, Maria emailed us asking if we could have one next week. So.
You want me to talk about it, or are you gonna?
Well, I didn't want to talk about anything until everything was set, so I wasn't going to say anything.
Well, I'm gonna say so.
Okay.
One of the things that we talked about at some length was the emergency management plan. We all know that we've got a plan with the county, and we've adopted a county plan. But if the county can't get in here, they're saying 3 days. All experts that I've heard over the last few years say if you're in a small community, and you get cut off, set yourself up for at least 10 days before any real major help can get here. We talked a little bit about that and about what we can do for Tenino. Not just take what Thurston County says that they can do for us, knowing that they can't get here for at least 3 days. Find out and start looking at things that we can do for our citizens. For example, behind the police station, they have that big storage building with nothing in it. If we can start filling that up with water, and we can start filling it up with blankets and other things that we might be able to need for especially for our senior citizens, to look around. I think we need at least one more major sized generator. We can look for that at Fort Lewis and get it on a relatively inexpensive basis, and we'll need that generator to float around the city to make the septic systems work this way. It doesn't start backing up into everybody's
I
house.
think we have that one, don't we? Don't we have a generator that they use that we have power? I mean, for that part, I think.
For the water?
For the, like when they hook up to
The
the
sewer.
septics. I thought they had
Yeah,
a
we
truck
do.
with a,
We've got one, but
need more than
if it-
one.
Yeah, we need more than one. So that was the biggest part of our conversations that we had. And we were there for 3 hours before we realized we were there for 3 hours. Nobody planned on it being 3 hours. Did it feel like that to you?
Yeah, it did.
Okay. It did.
It
It
had
did
to
to me.
feel like 3 hours.
It did feel like 3 hours to me. It really did. But that was the major part of our discussion.
I will say I had a meeting with Clint Endicott. He asked me to come meet with them, and that was one of his things too, because with summer coming up, last year we had the wildland fire and some people got evacuated, and we really didn't have any plans on even where people could go temporarily. So we should probably put that on our agenda to arrange to have basically a local
If you
a
want.
local emergency plan, including the school district, the fire
Yeah.
department, and Public Works,
Right.
get together and start working on
Well,
what we're going to do
One of the
locally.
other things I brought up was to see if we can get a list of the farmers around here that have the ability to clear roads, tractors and bulldozers and that kind of stuff. We may never need that list,
Yeah.
but
It's
it's
good
better
to have when you need
that
it.
list and be self-sufficient
Right.
than it is not to have that list and be wondering how the heck we're going to take care of everything.
We should have a list of a lot of the resources like that,
Yeah.
food things or,
So if you want me to
equipment.
work on that all the way around, I have no
Well, let us have our
problem with it.
meeting and
Yeah.
we'll go from there. And like I said, his concern is like yours, more of a local plan, not trying to dig into the county plan at this point. Just
Yeah.
what are we going to do when it's a cold event like we had last year and we didn't really have a place for people to go? I mean, we have places, but there was just no coordination
No
of who was doing
coordination.
what. So we just need to work out some of those kind of things. So, yeah. Anything else? Public Works Committee.
No, we haven't had a meeting. It was supposed to have been today, but something
We
got
understand.
crossed there, so
I think, yeah.
we know how to fix it.
I did tell Elaine, I think what Troy did was just put it on his calendar in his office, and I don't think Jen realized, because you don't, unless it's on our like outlet calendar, she will schedule a meeting not knowing that there's something else planned in.
Yeah, is it
So-
kind of like Joyce's calendar? So it's a piece of paper?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's sticky note.
Yeah.
So sorry about that, but we'll talk to Troy and say, hey, if you're scheduling a meeting, can you at least shoot some kind of email so we can get it on our master calendar so we don't double book something. There she is.
Hello?
We've been waiting for you for your report. It's been sitting here.
You might as well not even sit down.
No, you can have.
No, you can sit down.
You can have a minute. Just take a breath. Chief of Police is out of town right now. He's in training in Eastern Washington for a few days. It sounded like, I forget how many he said. So unless he didn't give us
He
anything.
didn't give us a report, no, but he did catch a couple vandals in the last 3 different vandals.
Yeah, we just got some young kids kicking the door in the bathroom. Got a very nice view with our camera. So I think they went and talked to them, surprise talk with them
Well,
today.
you know,
And the
I
families.
just-
Yeah, I know.
Grab those kids and just shake the crap out of them is what I'd like to do.
Well, I say, where are their parents?
I said the exact same thing in the meeting today.
So anyway, there was 4 kids in this last incident that we could see on the camera. I don't know who they are or anything at this point, but anyway, the police went over there and we're going to talk with the parents and come up with a plan to.
I was gonna say, can they charge them then?
I don't
for
think they.
damages?
I think they were young kids. I think they.
Doesn't matter how old they
Yeah,
are.
the only way they're gonna learn a lesson is if there's consequences to
I
what
know,
they did.
that's what we talked about when we got them. So we'll see. Director of Public Works, I don't know if he's going to be here. I thought he was going to be.
Jessica has a report for him. Do you have Troy's report?
Well, sort of.
Yeah, I sort of.
I thought he was coming tonight for some reason, but
No.
Now that you've had your moment,
There's not a lot to report except that they've been very busy at the quarry pool. They anticipate having it pretty much ready by next week.
Oh,
So,
I'm so excited.
yeah, they've done a lot of work out there and it looks really nice.
Please note, just because it's done next week doesn't mean it's opening next week.
No. but-
No,
but
Even
we,
though the sun is out, we never normally open until July.
yes.
But we are opening
So the-
early this year in June.
Yes, so the tentative opening date will be June 22nd, Family Fun Day. And the other thing that he just wanted to show, he had pictures. I don't know if we made those,
I do have
got those in there.
you can't show
But they worked last week on the, was it last week or the week before? The week before, I think. They worked on the rock garden.
Vanna White, everyone. Here is the rock art.
Oh, how neat.
It's,
Yeah, I've seen that.
it's a, well, it got moved.
Okay.
So now it's back behind the ball fields.
at the
So
end
it's
of the
been
walking track.
moved, it's got its own location, they've landscaped around
Oh, that's
it.
cool.
We'll be
That is
adding,
nice, yeah.
I've added some plants, they're just so little you can't see them yet, and we'll add more plants around it too. So that's pretty much it for Public Works, they've been real busy.
I will add, when we were talking to the Department of Health, I believe, about the bathrooms, that's been an issue with getting approval. And apparently, when we sent in our notice, we said we remodeled our old bathrooms. Well, when we said
Use the
that,
word remodel.
they said we need plans, we need all this. So they've cleared that up, that we just basically cleaned them up and made some minor changes. It wasn't a remodel. So I think what I heard today was that they're not going to require us to do all this
Right.
drawing and
All the
everything
permitting.
today. So we should be on track, I think, but we still haven't received final approval from Department of Health. They have to come and test our water, I think, to make sure it's chlorinated properly and some things.
Well, they
But
won't do that now until they get the big part filled in, right?
yeah, so, but I think we're pretty much on track. I was kind of worried about the bathroom situation, what they were gonna, but I think that's kind of been relieved now.
Not to be
Is that-
funny.
Yeah. City planner's not here, code enforcement's not here, park specialist, you're up again.
So, the master park plan is pretty much complete. I sent it to RCO just as a draft for them to look at it and to see if they had any feedback. And they said that they felt comfortable approving it as it was, and I just have to add some prices in there. They like to see kind of how much we think any improvements we do are gonna cost. And so then I'll work on that and have it to you by next council for adoption, hopefully.
Does RCO mean?
Recreation and Conservation Office.
Okay.
So they're Washington State, and I'll talk about them a lot because I've been,
Yeah, a lot of it.
the whole reason that we want the master park plan filed with them is some of their grants require that we have a master park plan to apply. So right now we have 3 grants in the works with them. We have the COF grant, which that one is for the ball fields. So we're gonna do up one of the ball fields, the field 2 very nicely. And so we applied for $500,000 for that. And the grant manager contacted me this week just to say good job because we ranked #1 in the South Sound for that
That's good.
application.
Is
Now,
that
we
really-
haven't won the grant yet. This is just
No,
the
that's-
first,
Scoring
the
the
first
first
ranking. Yeah, and then like #2 in the state. So it went, it's beyond my expectation for that grant, because I thought, well, we'll see if they
Even
like
you-
it. Anyway, so mind blown. So hopefully, they say that doesn't have any bearing on the next round, but I think it's a good application, so I'm
It wouldn't
hoping.
get scored that high if it wasn't a good.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then we also the YAF grant, that's Youth Athletic Facilities, and that one, I put in an application to have a half-court basketball court put in, combined with pickleball.
Oh,
And I think it's a really good application. It's a matching grant, it's a small grant, it just will help us do that. And some of our match can be in kind, so it won't cost us a lot. So I'm hoping that's a pretty strong application. And then the third one I'm working on, which I'm not very confident about, but it's the WWRP local parks. And that one I turned in recently, and it's one that you have to go through technical review and go give a presentation to the granting committee, and it's kind of a big deal. And that's the one we needed the master park plan for. And our match will be some of the value of the property that we recently acquired. That donation is our in-kind, so it is a 50-50 matching grant, but we won't actually have to pay anything out because we got a waiver of retroactivity for that to qualify. So that would be basically to do a trailhead project in the old park. We would improve the parking. So, right now people are parking in between trees and every which way. So we'd actually design it to have parking stalls basically, and improved one-way drive-through. So it'll help with the rutting and all of the problems that we're having. We would remodel the old park bathroom to be a trailhead bathroom, but it would still be, or the campground bathroom, but it would still be available for the campground. We'd put in a kiosk, a hitching post, water for horses, and then a trail, some improvements going up the dump road to a trailhead up into the new property. And then this would also be basically kind of a small road that would go through the whole property that we could use to patrol it and put trails off of that. But this would be a sturdy enough trail that horses and mountain bikes could go on it. So that's the goal with that grant. A lot of competition. The competition.
very ambitious. Thank you.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
just amazing.
So I understand they're working on having some legislators come and tour our park. RCO is, because they like our park. For an example of a park that has used RCO money in the past. So some of our, it didn't used to be called RCO, it was called something, some park interagency department in the 70s. And we got money from them to purchase parts of the park. So they consider it kind of one of their projects, and they just want to show a park that has used the money in the past and is continuing to apply, and how valuable and important the RCO grants are. So they want to use Tenino for an example of that. So that's exciting. Other things going on, the facilities are going good. We're starting to get reservations for the campground, the pavilions, things like that. We're improving some of the activities for seniors. So like today, we had it open longer, and I went in there and played bingo with them. So it was fun, but it's just an opportunity to offer more programs for seniors, because we've heard a lot that that's something that's missing in all of our programming, and so we're trying to expand that. I'm also got somebody who's interested in teaching ballroom dance over at the Corey House.
Teaching what?
Ballroom dancing.
Oh,
So like West Coast swing and salsa and waltz, things like that.
Tango.
Huh?
Tango.
Possibly. So, and then we're gonna have pool passes ready to go on Thursday. So we'll have pre-sale in May.
So I'm going to buy a year's pass for the raffle for
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Thursday we'll have the little
Thursday.
cards ready to go, and we'll also have an option to purchase them online. So
That's all right, I'll just
in
get-
person or online, whatever is most convenient for whoever wants to get those.
I'll pay for it tomorrow. That's what I'll do. I'll pick it up because I'm going to be in tomorrow.
And then Family Fun Day is just around the corner now, and that's shaping up to be a pretty good event. We have live music. We have a guy coming that the library is sponsoring. He's some kind of comedian, magician, musical guy. He's a zaniac. I don't know what that is, but
He's
anyway,
a what?
a zaniac.
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 Yeah.
Okay.
So he's coming. We'll have pony rides, petting zoo, a carnival, bounce houses, balloon animals, a free day at the quarry pool. So it should be a fine event. Backfire band and guava jam. They're all, little Jimmy Buffett and guava jam does some Hawaiian stuff. So it's going to be kind of that tropical summertime feel. And then Oregon Trail Days, kind of transitioning slightly into a historical society report. The layout's going to be totally different. The museum is going to do different activities this year than they've done in the past. So it's going to be more interpretive displays and some hands-on things, and a scavenger hunt to do, kind of lead people around. So it's going to be different, but it's still going to be good. The Pioneer Village is going to the other end of the park. This Thursday we have a history talk, so anybody's welcome to come. Dave Nicandri, he's the former president of the Washington State Historical Society, is giving a talk on, it's basically the evolution of the Northwest Passage through cartographic images, so through maps. It's going to show different maps through the years, and it's a free and it should be very interesting, especially if you love maps. And then Tenino Railroad Day is on for September. So far we have Sea Star coming to perform. Again, they performed 2 years ago, and I've got some new people who are going to come, so I think it'll be a good event.
Now, what day is that? It's the 12th of September?
That's going to be the third weekend in September, third Saturday,
21st.
21st.
Okay, I want to make sure I've got it on my calendar.
Yeah, put it on your calendar.
That was 21st for the Railroad Day.
Yes.
And what's the date for the Oregon Trail Days?
Oh, very good.
That's the fourth weekend in July.
And the 29th.
It is the 26th, 27th, and 28th,
Thank you.
Yeah.
because the Tenino Lions Club garage sale is the 19th, 20th, and 21st.
Splash Bash is coming up. Get your tickets. I have tickets for sale if anybody, you've probably got them for sale too,
Listen,
Linda.
I made such a stink about the Evan Bread, I have to pay an extra $6 to get my ticket.
Okay, and that's all I've got.
Well, you forgot one thing.
Oh.
Jessica called me up and said, hey, you want to go explore the property up there on the hill? Because we'd walked up there once before, we didn't explore too much. So I don't know if you can tell, you probably think I got some disease.
Me
There's
too.
blackberries up there bigger than the trees, I think, because all the trees are fairly short, and we walked just through these blackberry forests, basically
About,
up there.
took us
but
2.5
I wasn't quite prepared,
hours.
as you can
You
explain.
need
Yeah.
long sleeves. when
I
you
had
do that,
long
right?
sleeves on even.
I
It was
had
totally
I had
different.
long sleeves and a sweatshirt and jeans, and I
And you
had
still got,
my
I
legs
mean,
were
it was
scratched
bad. I
up.
mean, some of these things were like this big around.
Some of the vines on those are like this, and the little, whatever it's called, sticker things, or thorns are like
Thorn.
this, about the size of my thumbnail on
There's a lot of work to do up there. It'll be fine though.
But it was fun to walk through there. I didn't realize how much. There's some pretty good.
There's a potential lookout. We found a spot, a high spot
you
where
can
I
kinda
think if
see
we
over the
cleared a
city
couple,
probably, and, yeah.
Oh my
It was
gosh.
amazing. Yeah.
yeah, a lot of potential.
It's going to
Exciting.
be great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Figuring out how to get trails through all that will be interesting. But
Yes.
yeah, it was. Thank you, Jessica. The work you're doing is amazing.
Yeah.
yeah.
Good job.
Clerk treasurer.
Oh, yeah, I have a little baby report. Hi.
Hey, Blaine.
So we got mine isn't going to be as great as Jessica's. That's a hard act to follow. I submitted for the SLCGP grant for 2024. That's the same one we're doing currently. We just finished up at City Hall where we did all of our converting of all of our technology. This one would be for the wastewater treatment plant. It was, I believe, around $90,000. We also applied for federal funds through Glusenkamp's team for bathrooms for the trailhead, as well as some more funds for the Egg Park meat processing facility. I've been working on the audit. They are auditing for 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2022. It's a lot, so if you need me, that's where I'm at. We have been awarded the loss prevention grant for 2024. It's just a little over $8,000. As you guys know, we spent last year's on security cameras, and they are paying off. Well worth it. So Maria's getting some quotes on those, and we are working with Public Works and the police department on locations for them. Likely the concession stands at the ball fields where we're receiving also a lot of vandalism, as well as in the pool, maybe facing the fence. You know, as you all know, the fence was cut a few times. So more on that once we get there.
Okay, I'll do a quick mayor's report and we'll try to get this pretty quickly since we can finish up the reports. I mentioned speaking with the VCB, Annette at VCB, just about that whole thing. I was invited to go up to Vashon Island where they have a biodigester, which I think we talked about. We put that, the state put in a grant for it. We would be a host site. So they invited us to go up and tour the facility up in Vashon Island. It has a similar system. It's pretty interesting what they do with that. They actually make out of the methane that the biodigester gives off, they convert it into gas for their vehicles. So they make like 80 gallons of fuel from their biodigester a day, and they use it for their vehicles locally up there. And then if they have extra, people can come in and use it.
Interesting.
So it's it's a great way to kind of using waste and making 80 gallons of fuel a day with their system. It's bigger than the one we would have, but yeah, so could be a good project. And that was a long trip, but it was good. Had a meeting about pool permits. That went okay. I think everything's going well with the pool. Looks like, are we still planning on trying to do weekends just as a soft opening if we get all our permission? Is that, or maybe that's not going to happen?
I think we're being quiet about that if it does happen.
Okay. Oh, it's not now.
I think we're hopeful.
Yeah. We'll see. People have asked me about it. I said, hey, if it works out, if it, it's not a guarantee. The official opening's on the 22nd, but if, yeah. So we'll have to see on that one.
It's been a while since anybody's run the pool, and so
Yeah.
something like that would be a bad idea, just so we can
Kind of get people.
our feet wet.
Well, and it's still awfully cold.
Yeah, it's going to be cold.
I mean,
But
it's
kids don't care.
Oh, God, yeah, they do. Yeah.
That's kind of what I thought. It'd be a great way to kind of get, like you said, just kind of get people used to how things work and not so much pressure when it gets warmer and more people are showing up. But we'll see what happens. Let's see, where was that? Just looking. We did the walk through the Norseman property, which is another great, besides my arms suffering, it was great to see that property. We did walk around pretty much the whole perimeter of it. It was a 2-mile walk, I think we did through pretty much all just brush.
And that would be a mile an hour.
Yeah, we went very slow, trying to cut down. Yeah. Today I had a meeting with a company called Amoresco. They are a company that does like building services, and they're also into renewable energy. And I met he comes to a lot of our study meetings, the guy that kind of represents this area. And so they just were going down to Centralia to talk to them about the airport down there is doing some kind of hydrogen project. Now, Lewis County's really into the whole renewable hydrogen thing right now. So they stopped by and just talked about what they do. They help communities do grants and actually manage projects. So he just wanted to check in with us. He knew we had done quite a bit of stuff, so they met with him. What other big, met with Clint, and we talked about this, Clint, a little bit about getting the meeting together to talk about our local, kind of a local emergency plan, and it sounds like our public safety committee talked about it a little bit also just recently, so we'll get a meeting together here real soon to kind of work out what we're going to do there. What else? Trying to think. This old mind doesn't keep things fresh in it like unless I have it written down. Those are the big things. I think we're making progress.
Okay,
Liaisons, be that.
Yes. Every Wednesday, starting on the 22nd of this month through June 26th, 6 p.m. at the middle school, they're going to have a weekly gathering called Guiding Good Choices for Parenting. So it's a free event that includes meals, free childcare, and then there's also door prizes too. If anyone's interested, just go to the Be That Facebook page and scan their QR code to register.
Thank you. Solid Waste Advisory Board.
At the
Get your mic
last
closer.
solid
Get your
waste-
mic closer.
At the last solid waste meeting, they reported that Rochester and Rainier drop boxes. Those have been completed with the cameras in the break room, but they won't do any more upgrades until the study is done on whether or not that one of those will become a south sound transfer station. And that will take until October of this year before that study is complete. They don't know if they have enough acreage for it. That's the big thing. Let's see. They had the composting giveaway. All mercury lights will be phased out by 2030. Illegal dumping has been changed on HB 2207. They took it out of the court system and changed what illegal dumping is, but they couldn't give a description of what.
They made a new law, but nobody knows what it is.
Yeah, exactly. It's a new law, but nobody knows exactly how it's,
All going to work.
yeah, how it's gonna work.
That would be a good reason to take it out of the court system if you
Yeah.
can't explain away.
Yeah. They have to do the park plan that they did. Well, the waste
plan.
management has to do the same thing. This year, they have to do it in order to get federal grants. So that's in the process. And most of their projects that they had for this year are in the works or completed.
Thank you very much. Tenino School Board, we'll have your little speaker at our regular meeting, but do you have anything you want to add besides what you came here for? We've got our representative here also, but
Yeah, I was just gonna say for this month, some events. Middle school band has a concert on the 22nd at 7 p.m. Mr. Bowerly is taking the high school band next Friday to Disneyland to march in their parade there. And then also there's no school next Friday, the 24th, and obviously Memorial Day. Choir concert May 28th, 7 p.m. And then sports-wise, track for boys, Carson Shaw, Austin Johnson, Ashton Moore, Parker Minerick, Nolan Watson, Tristan Von Bargen, and Peter Hilton all qualified for districts this weekend. And on the girls' side, Paisley Garcia, MJ Gawis, Dakota Lee, Samantha Smith, Holly Thorin, Bryn Williams, Kendall Cox, and Maria Summers all qualified for the girls. And then baseball played for the district title last week, but ended up losing. But they still qualified for state. They got the 5th seed. So they play this Saturday, 10 a.m. in Yakima.
right?
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Hopefully they get 2 games on Saturday.
Yeah, that's very exciting. When my son was a senior, they went to state too, so it's a big thing.
Yeah.
He's not a Bible reader, but this coach said, yeah, I caught him sitting in the room reading his Bible before reading the Bible before the game. I never seen him read in his life, but he was he was pitching, so he was like super nervous. So anyway, yeah, that's great. Anything else? Is that it?
Yes.
TRPC.
TRPC, TPB, basically the same thing. Right now, we're just going through the process of looking at what projects people, all the different jurisdictions are looking to do. This way we can get them submitted in time. It looks like we're going to have a larger amount of money that the last few years what's happened, if you've submitted a project, but your project was not ready to go, you lost that money and it went back to everybody else and who had projects that were ready. And we've been able to capitalize on that for a few different years now. And it looks like we'll be able to capitalize again somewhere in the $180,000 range. Not bad, not great. It's better than a kick in the head. But that's basically what we're doing, is just going through that process. We have to go through it every year because every year we have brand new people on there.
Are you talking into your microphone?
I got a big mouth, it can hear me. So that's basically what we're doing. TPB sees it first, or TRPC, and TRPC can't do anything until TPB gives its stamp of approval. It's just a process that we're going through right now. The one thing that we do need to know here in Tenino is that this year we do not qualify because we got money last year. Next year we'll qualify for grants.
You better start planning then right now.
Yes.
So it's I just thought of something when he was talking. We do have a meeting set up with Representative Barkus. He asked to meet with us since we were changing districts, and he's going to be one of our representatives. So at the end of the month, I forget which day we are going to meet with him. So if you have any thoughts of anything you think, he wants to know what our issues are and what our needs are. So if you have any input, email Jen or myself, and we will, we'll try to do a good job representing the city and introduce him to what we've been doing over these last years and start that relationship off well. Thurston County Commissioner's Office, I will say I just sent a note. We talked about this in the past about having, we cannot do jury trials, and so we've been looking for another provider. So I just sent Wayne today a question of, I wasn't sure who to contact, so I figured why not start with our representative. Sent him a note asking if they have the ability to provide trial services. It was also brought up to me to contact the tribe, Chehalis tribe, where we do our, so I also sent them a note saying, hey, we need this service. Is it something you can offer? The county's pretty expensive for a jury trial. I think it's almost $500 a day if it's a jury trial through the county. So we'll see what we get back from the tribe and go from there to try to get at least the jury trial part of it set. I think that's, all I have. We got 2 minutes. Worked out pretty good.
Two tickets tomorrow to the Splash Bash. I'll have money. I'll have a check for you.
Joyce. Right from Jessica.
I need 2 tickets for the Splash Bash. I'll have a check tomorrow at the chamber. Thank you.
Okay. Good, there you go.
I haven't been able to make
I
one
would
in a
tell
long
Joyce
time.
otherwise, because I'm not selling.
I
I
haven't
worked
been.
all day today, off and on. Well, I worked this morning until I went. Had a meeting at 9, then I went back home and worked until 2 o'clock. Then I went and got my teeth cleaned, came back and worked on it until I came here. Just the Splash Bash auction and getting it all cleared up and getting the worksheet right. So I'm not selling the tickets.
You lazy bum.
Yeah, it's about-
Just sitting around.
and I got, that's another thing, that's.
Okay, 7:30 already. No breaks for us.
Sit back because
I'll call to order the Tuesday, May 14th regular meeting of the City of Tenino. Stand for the flag. Linda, you want to start us?
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
I always want to break into song after that. 'Cause that's
Yeah,
what
we should have a
do.
band start
That's
up.
what we do at the Lions Club, we sing after we do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay, let me get on the right spot
Move
here.
approval of the agenda as presented.
It's been
Second.
moved to approve the,
Second.
gosh, you guys are rushing me. It's been moved and seconded to approve the minute, or the agenda for 5:14. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 5 passes. Approval of minutes, these minutes are from 4/23/24.
Move approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the 4/23 meeting. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous vote. Consent calendar from April 24th, 2024 through May 14th, 2024, consisting of payroll ETFs in the amount of
EFTs.
I'm a little dyslexic, okay? I've never told anybody till now.
Oh.
EFTs in the amount, thank you, of $85,806.38. Claims checks number 32341 through 32385 in the amount of $197,118.64 for a grand total of $282,925.02, and no liquor cannabis licenses.
Move approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent calendar. Is there any discussion? Oh, there is one on here. Is Mill Lane Winery? Okay, sorry. There's also liquor renewal for Mill Lane Winery.
Move
Sorry.
approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the consent calendar, including the Mill Lane Winery. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Mayor, can we push this to later on in the meeting? I haven't quite finished the review over here.
Oh, yeah.
Is that
we can do-
possible?
Yeah, we can do it. Come back to it.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
No executive session, presentations. Mr. Endicott, would you like to come up and speak? Share your wisdom with us?
Oh, I don't know about any of that. So, council members, Mayor Watson, thanks for the invite to come here tonight and share some information. So, I'm really proud of the partnership that the district has with the city of Tenino. Mayor Watson, we've met a couple of times to talk about different initiatives and some priorities that we have as a district and where we have some overlap with the city of Tenino. And one of the areas that we both have some interest is water conservation. So things are going to look a little bit different in our district this summer. One of the things that we want to make sure that we're doing is modeling good practices for sustainability, not just for our students, but the community. So when people drive by our district office this summer, the grass is not going to look green because we're not going to be watering any playable, non-playable areas. So the only spaces that will be watered are our softball field, baseball field, and the practice field behind the middle school. And we're hopeful that that's going to result in some pretty significant savings for us, not just in water, but that translates to dollars for us. The other thing that we're trying to do is see what kind of impact that has on our maintenance team. Is when you water grass, like to grow, and then we have to mow it and take care of it. And so we're going to be very curious to see what kind of impact that has on our manpower, so that we can expend those resources in other places. Again, we're still going to be watering playable surfaces, so I don't want people to think like, so parkside playground, those areas, but basically areas where we don't expect people to participate in activities or do things, we won't be watering. And for us, it's a fairly significant amount. But
Yeah, it would be.
It does all add up. So, and we're going to continue to work with the city on a couple of different initiatives identified some areas where we use a lot of water. We're going to be trying to identify where we can shut that off. Things will look a little bit different in terms of just overall conservation this summer. We're going to be taking our buildings offline from July 1st to August 9th. So we're asking staff to not come in so that we have less impact. We're not cooling spaces that are really getting very light or intermittent, or in some cases no real use. So it doesn't make sense to spend resources on that. So again, I appreciate Mayor Watson inviting me here and want to make sure I have any questions. Graduation is June 7th.
I know, my son, yeah, I'm keeping my fingers crossed he doesn't do something silly at the very end. I told him he's only got a couple of weeks, and, yeah.
It's a big couple weeks for me. My oldest gets married this Saturday in Yamaha, so I won't be at the baseball game, and then my youngest is graduating from high school.
Wow.
On the 7th?
Yep.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Well, I want to say I appreciate it too. We've talked about it, and you guys all know how our water situation is.
Oh,
We
yeah.
need to start
Yeah.
thinking about how we
Yeah.
can conserve not just at the school, but all our facilities. So I appreciate the school district's efforts to cut back and try to conserve where we can. And yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see what the impact is. I'm really curious on how. But like you said, there's side things. It's
Listen,
the mowing and all
it's
those
one of those
things.
things that we really don't know until we try it, and hopefully it doesn't cause,
I don't think it'll cause any-
causing any real headaches or issues, but again, it does, I mean, it's all of these little things that really do add up. So when we charge our sprinkler lines, then we have to winterize them. I mean, there's a lot of other things that go into it. It's not just
Yeah.
watering.
Well, I know the Lions Club will be very happy that third weekend in July that
We'll
we
get
don't have to
sprinkled
go
all
over,
over.
you know, that we don't have to go around sprinklers when we're setting up, yeah. Yeah.
Will you be watering trees and shrubs so they don't die?
Yeah, we're gonna make sure that we will keep things alive. So when we talk about homes like down Brown, it'll be just the lawns, but we'll make sure that, we're also trying to work through, we've got the memorial garden on the backside of the stadium. We were the recipients of a grant for some planning on a small trail system through the Recreation Conservation Organization. And those plans are gonna involve hopefully moving some water out so that we can get some water to that memorial garden as well. But yeah, we're gonna keep things alive where we need to.
I don't think anything is gonna get so
Especially if it's
terribly
established,
brown
yeah.
in one, in one summer. I just don't think so.
But if it does, you can always replace it with low water need plants. You know, that's another thing. That's yeah.
Yeah.
So anybody else have any questions for the? Okay. Well, I appreciate you coming in, and yeah, we'll see you soon. We're gonna ask Jen to set up, try to get together a meeting with people for the emergency thing. So hopefully soon.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, I mean, Mayor Watterson and I did talk about starting really small to figure out what are the real needs that we
Big
have,
ones, yeah.
and pull in all the people that we would need to involve and make sure that we're not leaving anybody out. Because we've had these little, like, smaller partnerships where, like, Chief Chaffron worked with us to get a generator set up at our fuel pumping station, so that if there's a long sustained power outage, the city of Tenino
Fuel.
agreement can use our fuel depot, so that there won't be a disruption to emergency services, which is a big deal for our community. So, instead of having all these little agreements, like, we gotta get together and make sure,
Look at the whole picture.
yeah,
you
it's a
know.
big picture of life, so.
Good.
Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Have a great week. Public comments. We don't have a lot of public here. But anybody want to speak up about anything? Okay. Seeing no public really, I'll go on. Proclamations. We are asking to approve a proclamation for Bicycle Month. And these things, oh my God, reading these things, this kills me. A proclamation, whereas bicycling is one of the most energy efficient forms of transportation ever invented and is a mode of transportation well suited to urban environments where trips are short in length and overly congested roads are difficult and costly to expand. And whereas transportation accounts for about a third of the energy use in Washington state and about half of carbon dioxide emissions from fossil fuel, which adds to the problem of climate change. And whereas bicycle commuting reduces energy consumption, pollution, and congestion. And whereas bicycling makes people healthier, more productive, and prevents chronic diseases through physical activity and supports physical, emotional, and mental well-being. And whereas the National Nonprofit Bicycling Safety and Education Association, the League of American Bicyclists, has declared the month of May to be a National Bike Month for each of the last 67 years and has done so since again in 2024. And whereas the City of Tenino supports alternatives to inefficient drive-alone trips, particularly for travel around the city, by building bicycle facilities. And whereas Intercity Transit has sponsors, including many local businesses, in hosting the 37th Annual Bicycle Community Challenge during the month of May 2024. Thank you. Now therefore, we, the Council of the City of Tenino, Washington, do hereby declare May 2024 Bicycle Month in the City of Tenino, and in recognition of Earth Day, National Bike Month, and Clean Air Month. We encourage all citizens to put forth their best effort to reduce single occupancy motor vehicle trips, to reduce air pollution, energy consumption, and congestion. And in witness thereof, our signatures.
Move approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the Bicycle Month proclamation. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. I'm going to sign this and I'll pass it down the line. If you want to use the same pen. Before us, we're on to no old business, new business. The Growth Management Act Periodic Update Grant is before us. If you've had time to review that, we would appreciate a motion to approve that.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the Growth Management Act Periodic Update Grant as presented. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The next one is the HERE Award. I talked about this a little bit. The state, very short. I've never seen a state application for funds to be so short. It was like a one-page thing that they're giving grants to communities to help low-income people upgrade to more efficient heating, water heating, even cooking, more efficient cooking. I applied for $200,000. I think they just took all the applications and somehow divided it up. They ended up offering us $95,000 to help our lower income people switch to more efficient heating. And so I need to respond back to them by the 16th saying we accept this. They're going to send the details of it afterwards. I think this is kind of like a two-round thing where you accept it, then I guess they'll see who chooses to accept it and kind of go from there. But we'll get the We'll get the details on requirements. If it's something that comes up that's not, doesn't seem workable, we don't have to spend it. So I just wanted to get approval to move forward with accepting that $95,000.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the HERE Award. Is there any discussion?
Having read it, I believe it also includes middle income and small businesses,
Yeah.
not just lower income. So
My hope
it's
is we can kind of
fairly
help
wide.
the lowest first, the people really, and then kind of, if we have money left over, go up to kind of a next level is kind of what my initial thoughts were. And some of our small businesses are eligible too. So if somebody has, Linda was mentioning that,
Yeah, Joyce
yeah,
could use it.
their building is very difficult to
Yeah.
heat, and they have space heaters.
Oh.
Switching to some other kind of heating,
All
and that
kinds
would
of-
be a huge,
They put
huge
two
savings.
new, this is the second one that they put on the wall with a thermostat. And the first heater went kaplooey, so they replaced that, and then they found out it wasn't really the heater, it was the thermostat. It's been
So anyway, it
it's
could be a
real
great
cold
thing,
in
I
there.
think, for our lower income people and some of the small businesses to help them save some money. Thank you very much for approving that. Ag Park changeover, do we have Mr. Marshall yet? We do. In your packet, you had another change order being requested for
Excuse
the
me,
North
Mr. Mayor,
Building.
I think I interrupted the process on the last, we never got to a vote for the
Okay,
hearing.
let's go back to that real quick.
Please.
We're setting up. Okay, we can call for, it's been moved and seconded, I think, already to accept the, is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. So, it was in your packet, the change order. We have Mike Marshall here to, if you have any questions on that, it's a change order for electrical, right? Go at it. If you have questions, we can get a microphone down there, or we can move the computer down there to ask any questions if there's any.
So it's the $17,440.63. Is that what it is, Mike?
Yep. Can't hear us.
Mike, can you hear us?
We can't hear you.
We
He's
can't
talking.
hear you. Hold on. Shoot.
Any better?
Yeah,
Yep.
there we go.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that is the total including
Okay.
sales tax.
Thank you, Mike.
And this is change order 2 for the electrician, not for the project, is that correct?
Yeah, for the electrician.
Yeah, we signed something in January, I recall.
Any other questions? Well, it wasn't quite as controversial as last time. Can't give you a little
Haven't
bit.
approved it yet.
Yeah, haven't approved it yet. Is there a motion to approve the
So moved.
change order?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the change order as presented to the council. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we got it done the first time this time, Mike.
Okay,
Thank
We're doing
you.
better. Thank you for kind of chiming in there. Appreciate it.
no problem. Yeah, okay. Yeah, bye.
There'll be one more coming for about 8,000.
Okay, get down to the next thing. Okay, don't let me forget to sign these. The last thing on our agenda is ordinance number 930. This will be
First reading.
first reading. This is the ordinance of the City Council of the City of Tenino amending the municipal code within the public, semi-public zoning district. Whereas the City of Tenino is a code city and is authorized by RCW 35A.63 Planning and Zoning and City Code Cities to set development standards. And whereas the City of Tenino has adopted a comprehensive plan in accordance with RCW 36.70A, the Growth Management Act, and a zoning ordinance that is consistent with that comprehensive plan under RCW 35A.63. And whereas Tenino Municipal Code 100.30.010 authorizes the City Council to make decisions on zoning code amendments, and whereas notice of this proposed change was sent to the Washington State Department of Commerce on March 18th, 2024. And whereas the City of Tenino reviewed this proposal under the State Environmental Policy Act, SEPA, and issued a determination of non-significance on the proposal on January 22nd, 2024. And whereas the City of Tenino provided notice for a public hearing held on these changes in accordance with the standards listed in Tenino Municipal Code 18.40.190. And whereas the Tenino Planning Commission held a public hearing on the matter on February 7th, 2024. And whereas the Tenino Planning Commission reviewed these changes at their meeting on February 7th and voted unanimously to recommend the City Council adopt the proposed changes. Now therefore, it is ordained by the City Council of the City of Tenino as follows. Amend section 108.40.1010 to modify the list of uses on the use schedule to add livestock processing facility and require a conditional use permit issued by the city on property zoned public, semi-public. Do I need to read, you want me to read the whole
No.
thing? I'm just going to read the last.
First
Basically, what we're
paragraph,
doing
last
here
line.
is adding for the ag park to be able to have the processing facility.
First
Right.
paragraph, last line.
Okay.
You're good.
Let's see, last line. The last line is operational analysis, including maximum area, indoor, outdoor, or combined thereof, for the keeping or slaughtering of animals, hours of operation, expected duration that animals, live animals will be present on the site, and number of employees. Adopted this 28th day of May 2024.
Move approval.
Of the first reading.
Second.
It's
Of-
been moved and seconded to approve the
of
first
the
reading of
first
ordinance
reading.
930. Is there any discussion?
Gotta put that part
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. Let's see if we missed anything for our reports. I think we got through everything on reports. We're to public comments number 2.
Wait, I'm sorry, Mayor. Did we approve the consent calendar?
Yes.
We
Not
went
yet.
back and kind of did that right just a
It
second ago.
wasn't
Okay.
identified the second time, however. That's why he didn't think we did it, because we
Oh,
didn't.
sorry. You didn't say.
That's okay.
Yeah, I think we're good. Public comments number 2. No public comments? Okay, hearing none. Any announcements?
Memorial Day services at the cemetery by the VFW and American Legion is May 27th. Monday, May 27th at 11.
Okay.
And I was supposed to extend an invitation to city and city council members to attend if they would like to.
Thank you. Anything else? Okay, hearing none, we are adjourned.
Non-debatable motion.